Hello and welcome back to Toy Thursday, or actually, Figurine Friday with Johnny Tiger on November 18, 2022. This is, yeah, like I said, making up for the missing Toy Thursday that I didn't get around to doing yesterday. And since my voice is not back to its normal powerful timbre, I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. Relatively, because it's Toy Thursday, and it's just not that easy to keep Toy Thursday short. However, today's characters, yes, we have two of them today, are both pretty small, thus figurine Friday, and honestly, they don't have much stories to them. Today's theme is National Princess Day, which I didn't even know there's such a thing. I mean, Kitten informed me that it's supposed to be National Princess Day every day. Yeah, keep on dreaming. That's not going to happen. But regardless, this was a holiday made up by the Nest Entertainment Company as uh, based on one of the movies, The Swan Princess, which I believe came out in 1994. Now, a little bit of trivia. When I was growing up, you would not, like in my culture in Taiwan, in China, uh, particularly in Taiwan, you wouldn't go around calling a lady a princess. That would be like one of the quickest way to get yourself smacked in the face. So it's not until that I came to Canada. In fact, not until I became an adult that I started hearing some women like to refer to themselves as princess, or like to some people refer to some women as princesses, meaning they are spoiled or high maintenance or delicate or whatever. Uh, in my culture, this was not a thing because in Taiwan, princess had a very different kind of intonation. Princess is a nickname for those ladies that have a more questionable career. Yeah, uh, ladies of the night, working ladies, those in Taiwan, that those are called princesses. So, yeah, just a little bit of a culture shock there. But anyway, let's not corrupt our National Princess Day. Although the first character I'm going to show you definitely sort of invoke that Lady of the Night vibe. I'm going to show you Princess Daphne. Princess Daphne hails from the 1983 video game. Yeah, was there even video game in 1983? I mean, come on. Yeah. Anyway, uh, apparently there was, because apparently this game called the Dragon's Lair was one of the biggest hits in 1983 during the summer. It was the hottest new toy. It was a game where it will show you a bunch of animations, and then you push buttons to determine the reaction of the hero. You play a wandering knight by the name of Dirk the Daring, and the story was a very simple one. You have to go through this castle that was cursed by an evil wizard. The castle had all kind of evil creatures and demons, and then eventually you work your way into a dungeon or catacomb under the castle, and you met this evil fire dragon, and then you defeat the dragon, and you rescue Princess Daphne, and that was the end of the story. The game was later re-released as a 3D version, there's a Game Boy version, there's a Super Nintendo version, and then there was also a computer, a PC version as well. And sadly, that was pretty much the entire story of Princess Daphne. We don't really know much about her, what she was about. We just know she was a princess. She was captured by an evil wizard or fire dragon, and then kept in a catacomb, and then she got rescued, and that was that. But I mean, you look at Princess Daphne, you don't really need to know much of her story. I mean, hey, don't don't hate me. This was the 80s and 90s. Women's role were not the strong, powerful uh, type that you see today. Back then, most females in video games were cast as nothing but sex symbols and just an object to be rescued, to be reached in the end. I didn't invent that, it's just the way it was back then. But hey, at least there's one thing we can say about Princess Daphne. If her only role is to look good and to be rescued and to reward the hero, she does it really well. I mean, look at her. She's curvaceous, like soup is not even realistic. Like this body type, crazy. Like her her hip and her thighs are literally bigger than her tiny waist. She had perky breast, and she's got this long cascading blonde hair. She like yeah okay like I can totally see why the knight would go out of his way to go rescue her. And even her outfit is totally ridiculous. She's not like dressed up in what you would think of as a princess. I mean, what happened? Did she get kidnapped by the dragon while she was sunbathing or swimming? Like, why is she wearing like a tiny little swimsuit uh, and high heels? And yeah, like, why is she dressed like this? She's dressed like a Playboy model dressing up as a princess. That is actually not far from the truth because according to the original game design, they spent $15,000. Yeah, you heard me right. $15,000 from that budget researching adult entertainment and Playboy models to get designed for Princess Daphne. Yeah, I don't know what kind of research they all did, but anyway, yeah, she definitely looked like one of those Playboy models. As an action figure goes, there's not much you can do with her. She's just under 6 inches tall. I believe the company that made her was called Anjon, and she is somewhat articulated. She has joints in the shoulder and waist and neck and her hips, but because she's so pre-posed, uh, there's not much you can do with her. Like you can move her arm up and down, turn her waist left and right. There's not much you can do with her neck because her long hair restricts the movement there. And if you even try to mess with the joint in her hip, she's not going to be able to stand. So, yeah. Um, Speaking of standing, she actually doesn't stand that well. Well, she doesn't stand at all unless you use the included base with her. She comes with this base that is designed to look like a mound of treasure. So she's standing there with gold coins and jewels all around her feet. I believe the original figure also came with a tiny little fire dragon and another piece of jewelry. However, I got this action figure secondhand, so I don't have those pieces. So honestly, Princess Daphne, even as an action figure, can't really serve in many capacities. Basically, just that princess will stand in the background looking super cute, while your other warriors rush forward to do battle. So why did I get her? Well, I think if you are an action figure collector and you're a heterosexual male, you don't need an answer. Like you look at her, yeah, okay, even if she doesn't really serve any purpose, you kind of want her just so you can have someone who's so curvaceous like that standing at your desk. Standing or um yeah, anyway, let's move on to our next princess of the night. Our next princess came from 1995, and yeah, time has changed a little bit since Princess Daphne. This next princess still was mostly used as a damsel in distress, still was relatively useless, but comparing to poor Daphne, who didn't even have a proper biography, this one is better. She doesn't have a name, but she's a lot better. Enters Princess, what's her name? And yeah, I kid you not, she really is called Princess, what's her name? Because she doesn't have a name. This cute little uh, bug princess was born on a planet called Insectica. Uh, Basically, I mean, imagine the planet of bug people. Um, when she was born, because of how cute she was uh, cast aside by her people because her people are supposed to be creepy and ugly and all that stuff. And so to look this cute was abnormal. Like to them, she was ugly. So this is kind of a very interesting little sociological, uh, I guess, message in this cartoon. This came from the Earthworm Jim, by the way. Earthworm Jim, video game and cartoon in 1995. Um, so imagine, like, we look at bugs and insects. A lot of us are like, "Ooh, that's so creepy," and then we look at Princess, what's her name? Like, oh, she's kind of cute. But to her people, they think creepy is good. So to them, then when they look at her, it's like, "Ooh, she's so ugly." So she was um, alienized, cast aside, neglected, abused since she was born. Her parents, they didn't even give her a name because they figured that she's so ugly and she didn't even deserve a name. That's why she's only called Princess What's Her Name. The action figure of Princess What's Her Name was made by Playmates, who, I mean, Playmates had never been what you would call high-end action figure or like really, really good. But they been hanging on for I guess 40 years by this point. They're still there. They're still releasing action figures even today. So Playmates, if nothing else, is one of the longest running action figure making companies. So just for that, I gotta give them a lot of respect. Not to mention, they brought children so much joy back in the 90s, making Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures, Skeleton Warriors, Wildcats. Um, Actually, I believe the Skeleton Warrior was Skeleton Warrior Playmates. I might be mistaken there, but I know Wildcats was definitely Playmates. Ninja Turtle was Playmates. Um, Earthworm Jim, uh, and so many others. Playmates uh, also did Star Trek action figure, so they've been there for a long time. I had a lot of their action figures. Um, they definitely can't really compare to action figures that are made by like Toy Biz and Hasbro and Todd McFarlane. Oh God, no. Um, but they have their own niche market. Playmates action figures is very cartoonish, very adorable, and they have that really retro feel to them, such as in the case of Princess, what's her name here? Now, like I said, Princess, what's her name, really beyond her tragic upbringing, doesn't have a has a lot of story to her, especially in the video game. In the video game, she was exactly like Princess Daphne. She was only there. She was a cute female that you rescued. That was the object of the game. Your goal in the game was Earthworm Jim was supposed to defeat a whole bunch of evil characters and then in the end rescue her. And that was it. She didn't have any story herself. It wasn't until the animated show, the cartoon of Earthworm Jim came out, they kind of needed a female character, and so they put more story to Princess What's Her Name. Basically, she grew up and she was always uh, strong, and she's a good fighter because everyone in the Insectica kingdom they have the strength of insects and the ability of insects. So she's a good fighter. And when she met Earthworm Jim, she finally decided, okay, enough is enough. If my people don't like me, I can go out on my own and I can go on my own adventures. And that was basically that. Yeah, not much of a story. Still, a lot better than poor Princess Daphne. Princess What's Her Name is also the only Earthworm Jim action figure I have. I wasn't ever into the Earthworm Jim characters, but I wanted to get her because of how adorable she is. I mean, I don't even like bugs. I hate insects in general. But this little bug princess is just too darn cute. From the neck down, she is very typical Playmates female body, like big breast, big hips, small waist, uh, and not much else going on. Very smooth. There's no extra sculpted details on the body. Just a very animated, very smooth female body that you will see in almost 95% of action figures in the 80s and in the 90s. But on her back, she has a pair. She has two pairs, actually two pairs of really cute looking. I guess they're like butterfly wings. And this her hair is red, like crimson red, and super long. Like I love her hair. Her hair just go all the way down. I imagine if the hair was straight, it would probably go down to her ankle. That that head of hair, amazing. And then she had cute little bug antennae on her head. Just like a really adorable character. She's not human. She's some kind of bug alien, but she's super cute. I especially like how she has her antennae even stylized, like not sticking straight up like uh what you would think a bug character is. Like she has her antennae like tied and pulled off to the side, like they're some kind of turban or something. That is like super cute. Um, yeah, it's another really cute character. She doesn't do much. She has articulation at the neck, shoulder, hip, the big five, as people in the 90s would be familiar with. Um, she has an additional joint where her hair where her hair goes into her head, so you can actually use her neck articulation. She can turn her neck while not being restricted by the hair. That is actually pretty cool. Now, the original action figure of Princess What's Her Name came with a whole bunch of stuff. Like she came with two guns, some ammunition for her gun, and she came with a little bug alien as well. But again, this is another one that I only got secondhand. So all she comes with here is one of her guns. This ugly, big, honking, bug-looking laser gun. I don't know what it's even supposed to be or what it's supposed to do. And it looks totally ridiculous, but it's totally fitting because it is a product of the 90s where everything had to be big and over the top. Just look at that ridiculous thing. There's almost enough plastic in that gun alone to make another princess. What's her name? Yeah, yeah, it's weird and it's over the top. And I don't know if it's actually something she used in the cartoon because I never watched Earthworm Jim myself either. It wasn't one of the shows I followed when I was a teenager. Uh, but yeah, well, she comes with it, so I guess, it's one of those situations where I make my own adventure, and in the adventure I create for her, Princess, what's her name, is strong and determined, and she got a super badass bug gun that she can use to defeat evil with. Yeah, there you go. And here we have our two adorable, cute princesses standing side by side. From 1983 to 1995, we see female portrayal going from Princess Daphne, who have no story to her name. She's just a sexy, curvaceous princess needing to be rescued. Everything have to be at the mercy of either the evil wizard, the fire dragon, or her protector, the knight. And then we see in 1995, we have uh, a slight upgrade. Princess what's her name, still a damsel in distress, but this time she come with a much more complex backstory. And in the end, when the cartoon came out, she even got her own time, becoming much more valuable part of Earthworm Jim's allies. So things did get better, are still getting better. We can only hope that this trend of strong, capable female warrior, female characters continue, and we will see much more capable and powerful princesses in the future. Thank you for checking out today's Toy Thursday. I'll be back again. Oh, sorry. Thank you for checking out today's Figurine Friday. Um, Gosh, you can really tell I'm sick because my camera work is very jittery today. And what camera work? Hey, 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 blind guy with a camera, cut me a break. So yeah, like I said, camera works a bit jittery today, and um, my uh, narration is not as crisp as usual, but it will get better. I'm getting better. I'll be back tomorrow for some Survival Saturday video. For now, have a good night.